Welcome to episode 6 of Crossing Continents, where I'm joined by my good friend, Dr. Brian Bass. A professional archaeologist and accomplished adventurer. Brian and I have shared many adventures together, but this will be one of our biggest. I had just spent weeks securing authorization from the Ethiopia government to import the grenadier into the country. It was an incredibly complex process that involved multiple letters to the Ministry of Customs and Tourism, plus numerous visits to the Ethiopian embassy in Nairobi. Okay, so I'm at a place called New York. You can see all the skyscrapers here, the natural phenomena, very much like Bryce Canyon. Absolutely beautiful spot in Ethiopia. After the successful crossing into Ethiopia, we met up with Muller from EthioTrek to gain access to the remote villages near the Omo region. Muller also helped with the documentation for the vehicle importation.
So each wall, 3 up to 4 gates like that.
This here is the first wall. So this is the highest point of the mountain. This is when the village would have hundreds of years ago created their first concentric ring around the village, and then as they add people, they add more rings further down the hill. Okay, so we're in the Machalo village here in the Conso region, and they build their villages in a series of concentric rings for security, and as they add more population, they add more rings to the village. But these incredible little stone walkways that take us up to the higher levels. Beautiful. So Brian, what are you doing here, man? What are you doing?
I'm reloading some film.
Nice.
Triax.
As you're moving up a 200-year-old stone pathway.
More, but it's really interesting though, because you can see they've built into the bedrock as well, and then terraced on top of that.
Yeah, so cool.
I mean, this is serious effort.
Yeah.
And then reinforcing it with the wood. When the young boy is ready for the marriage, there is a bull jumping. Okay. Yeah. But in Conso, the young boy is ready for the marriage. All the young boy before the marriage, they lift this stone. This one here. Yeah, I show you the small one. I am already passed. And maybe you're already married, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So if it's ready, it's ready like this.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And so at the back side. So is it ready or no? For checking the power of the young boy. Okay. Right, so this stone here
Shows if I'm still eligible.
it shows that, yeah, once you can lift it, that means you're ready for marriage. And Scott's gonna give it a try. Oh, that was too easy. Up, it's gotta go up and then over the back.
What are we, day 3 in Ethiopia right now?
Yeah. So pressing on towards Arba Minch.
That's right. We finally got across the border, and then it worked out because I had kind of an extra day in there as a buffer just in case we had more border issues. But so we were able to stay in this cool little village of Kosan, wasn't it? And it's Conso, that's right. And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, cultural site, because of these amazing terraces and kind of mountain villages, concentric ring villages that they have in the town. What'd you think of that, Brian?
That was incredible. I mean, it's literally centuries of construction upon construction. Hand building rock faces to control erosion, also to establish terracing systems. And inside the village, it was just a labyrinth of passageways and enclosures for animals and storage for agricultural goods and cooking areas and living quarters and communal areas where the village meets.
Yeah, you said that there was 12,000 people in that village, which blew my mind. But it kept going down the hill and down the hill and down the hill.
Incredible. Yeah. Really, really unique. I've never seen anything like that before.
Well, and he mentioned that they still practice polygamy, so they, you know, if a man is of a certain amount of wealth, he can have multiple wives and lots of children. There were lots of children in the town.
Yeah, at the same time, though, they marry into other villages so that they're keeping the gene pool a little bit more expanded out.
That's a good idea.
Really, really unique. We had a chance to sample some of their food they were cooking. Scott drank some of their beer.
I did.
We're gonna give this a try. It's pretty good.
As a non-beer drinker?
Yeah, as a non-beer drinker, that's pretty good. It's good. It's hearty. It's like you get some calories with it. For sure, it's kind of like dinner and a beer all in one shot.
It was the chewiest beer I've ever had. I mean, it was, I mean, you got your protein and your alcohol all in the same shot.
Got it all, which is not a bad thing. People pay big money in California for that.
That's right.
Okay, so we've got the national park behind us. Look at that view, absolutely incredible. We're in Arba Minch here in Ethiopia. Our man Muller has given us an incredible drive through this region. So we've got Chamo Lake and we've got Abaya Lake. We've got a national park filled with crocodile and all kinds of other animals. There's some thick-billed ravens flying behind me. Absolutely incredible part of Ethiopia. Okay, so the issue right now, we are in Arba Minch in Ethiopia, and there is a gas shortage, a benzene shortage. Benzene here is the same as petrol or unleaded that we're used to, and that's what the Grenadier takes. I have about 75 kilometers left in the main tank, and then I have 40 liters on the roof rack. But you can see like the lineup of tuk-tuks all waiting for just a little bit of fuel, and it goes all the way down the street here in the background. So there's definitely a fuel shortage. So we're trying to negotiate right now to see if we can arrange for maybe 40 liters or so. I think we can make it without it, but I'd like to have that reserved if we can.
When visiting the local village, they asked us to wear their traditional garments and symbols to best understand their incredible way of life.
All right, so we're in this crazy cool village up in the mountains, over 2,000 meters, and they build their homes. They last almost 100 years, and they're structured to look very much like an elephant. You can actually see the eyes of the elephant there. So this is a compound where the family lives together, all produced out of bamboo and like the bamboo leaves that make the roof. So really incredible place here in Ethiopia. Ethiopia has been an incredible surprise. What a beautiful country. So much history, so much legacy from these amazing people. So very grateful to be here.
was okay. 1 minute.
A little bit. Half.
His international driver's license says that he's got to be careful.
I like his half. That's his half right there.
Right, like from Scotland. He knows people from Scotland.
Yo, yo,
A
yo.
little
right.
bit.
Now it's your turn. You
Yeah.
can do that.
That's nice. A little grass on the back end there.
Yeah, compost of flavors there. If we run out of benzene, we can run on that.
Yeah, you can run on this.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm now in the Highlands, and I'm going to try another version of the local beer. I'm pushing my luck. All right.
I think you're gonna have to rate that one versus yesterday. You're the only one that has that knowledge.
This one's better. It's better.
Better?
Yeah.
Less fermented.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's like beer that also gives you carbs and protein at the same time. That's good.
Organic.
And this is a spicy.
That's honey.
Yes.
Oh, little
The
dip.
mixture of both is great.
There we go. Do a double?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This one. It's okay. Yeah. It's like a 3. Just a little bit turbo, but.
Yo!
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo!
Soak up the freezer.
All right, so I'm supposed to dance with my hips here.
How it should be done.
So is this like the honeymoon suite?
No, no.
This
It's
is
just
like
for
the guest suite, right?
This is the first partition is that's for the guest room. This is for the guest. And please move here.
There's a lot of room in here. It is important to never give money to children on or near the road, as it encourages them to run into the roadway where they might be hit or injured. Ethiopia is known for their food and unique method of eating, using their injera bread and their hands. Traditionally, the right hand is used, which was a complication for me being left-handed. Ethiopia is the birthplace of coffee, complete with a roasting, grinding, and serving ritual. The coffee was delicious.
trying to get petrol again. Very limited availability here in the country, but every once in a while you find a station, but you end up paying, you know, about 20-30% more, sometimes twice as much, to be able to get the fuel without staying in the queue for a day or two. So you basically got to pay extra to the station attendants to get your fuel, but that's what we need to get through the country. Okay, so we're at the Rastafarian church here in Ethiopia. This was put together in the 1970s during the Haile Selassie period. Very cool.
Church has a fire, and that is to keep us warm when it's a bit cold. We have 12 folks, and the bigger one is 13. Right?
Keeps you alive.
Thank you. It keeps you alive. So once this starts, it does not stop until the finishing of the celebration or the service. Right? The art, it just beats, it does not say nothing. But the second sound, it says do good, and do good is automatically joined to the art. Then the artist says do good. But at this present time, the art just beats. The art, it just beats, it does not say nothing. But the second sound, it says do good.
As we drew closer to Addis Ababa, the traffic and navigation became more challenging. The road shared with other vehicles, livestock, and pedestrians. Once we arrived in Addis, we needed to secure our Djibouti visas and also visit the numerous museums in the area. Having Brian along to share his knowledge was a wonderful addition.
Okay, so we're in the Aladehi region of the Great Rift Valley, just about 3.5-4 hours from Addis. We're actually coming up to a checkpoint right now. So we got a bunch of military guys. Some of them had some interesting headscarves on, but then they just pull a rope across the road to get you to stop, and then they drop it if they feel like it. But this whole region is certainly the highest amount of security presence that I've seen in the entire trip across Africa. There was definitely security concerns in the area of Turkana, but there was nowhere near this much military presence. So we're barely going 5 kilometers without a checkpoint of some sort. And a lot of military presence, military vehicles. We even saw a tank, armored personnel carriers, larger military bases. So this part of Ethiopia is still not well controlled, but they have a lot of presence to make sure that they can maintain commerce from the port in Djibouti. So they're really working on doing that. But interesting drive this morning. I got Brian next to me here. He's crushing it, driving the Grenadier.
Heavy duty.
What do you think of this action, Brian?
It's kind of like I'm in the video game Frogger. Right now it's just slow. This is like level 1, and watch out for the red cross there. Yeah.
There's not as many animals in this town.
No. A lot of humans crossing. Look at all these buses, fuel trucks, supply trucks. This is bustling, without a doubt. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Okay, so Brian and I we've graduated from the Grenadier to the back of a tuk-tuk, and we're on our way actually to the Harar Brewing Company. Now, Harar is it's the only walled city in all of Ethiopia, a very ancient place, and we hear they have a pretty good brewery, so we're gonna go check it out. And it's nice to not have to drive for a moment.
Finally.
Finally.
After 520
That was 520 kilometers in a day. That was rough. I think both of us are ready for a beer, and I don't drink beer, so. Okay, so we made it to Harar, the ancient city of Harar, and they have this huge brewery here in the city, so we grabbed the tuk-tuk, and Brian and I are here. We're celebrating 520 kilometers safely driven across Ethiopia, and now we're within a few hours of the border, so cheers, brother.
Right on.
Nice. Okay, so I'm here in the ancient city of Harar. This city was built just right around 1,000 years AD, and it is an incredible kind of crossroads of cultures. So, of course, you have the communities that are inland and in the highlands of Ethiopia, and then, of course, you have the coast out towards the Sea of Aden and the Red Sea. So Harar was really this not only cultural crossroads, but also an economic and trading crossroads. So it is an incredible old walled city, and we were able to walk through that. Brian and I were able to walk through that today and just really enjoy meeting the people. We were able to spend some time in their homes. We were able to walk around the spice market. We were able to get some just incredible photographs. But it's a very open city. It feels very safe, actually, to travel in, walk around in. There's a big mix of cultures. In fact, it's known for having these communities of people where multiple families live together in the same compound, and they may have even different religions. So they're a very tolerant culture, and it just felt like a wonderful place to be as a traveler. Kind of sparking back to Richard Burton and his incredible travels in this region. And this is all the traditional medicines of the region. So the local healers will come to this woman's shop and they'll purchase these items from her. And they each have a role to play in helping people heal from the remedies.
The spice mills in Harar were one of the most visually impressive stops along the journey. The room filled with the scents of the region.
You bleed the tree and that's what you get. The sap, the pure sap. It's the bark and this is the flower. The flower. Okay. The flowers are on the edge. The flowers are usually, they have a very, very soft, terrible bark mixed with what? The sap. See? Okay. This is the number one quality. Mm-hmm. This is what we use more for a coffee ceremony.
Here we have frankincense, we have the flower of the frankincense, and then we have the bark of the frankincense. Amazing. Some turmeric.
Coriander seed coffee.
Yeah, so much.
Linseed, black coriander.
In Harar, we connected with Binyam, a local Rastafarian guide that showed great care in showing us this stunning and ancient city.
Their spear. Any boy who is above 18, that's when they are allowed to fight on battle. So when they are ready, they all place their spear here. It's fried with a very tender goat meat. It has a catfish from the lake nearby. It has hulbat marak. Hulbat marak, it's a fenugreek stew. You have like turmeric meat stew. This is paprika or chili powder meat stew. It's mild spicy. You have a chili sauce and mulawa or kita. It's a pancake for bread.
So Brian, tell me a little bit about the watch that's on your wrist right now.
Funny story. It's an old Seiko dive watch that belonged to my father, and
sent it out to a buddy of mine who kind of pimps out different kinds of watches. He does restorations, but he also does little mods on them, and had them put on a different dial, different hands, bead blasted the case. He actually ground off all the Seiko stuff on the back of the case back, and I pretty much take this watch on all my overseas projects where I just want to be low profile, low key. It has a day and the date on it, which kind of helps me out, especially for, you know, traveling to far off time zones. And it doesn't have any call out on the dial about the brand name or anything like that. So it's pretty low profile, and it's waterproof, which I like. It's got a diving bezel on it, and so I can time different things even if I'm not diving. And really like it. It's kind of my go-to overseas thrasher watch, I guess you could call it.
And how cool that you get to bring that part of your dad with you.
Without a doubt. Think
on
about
all
him,
of your trips.
Think about him all the time when I have
you're
it
reminded.
on.
Yeah, you're reminded of him.
Exactly. I think that's important. Remember those who came before, those who sacrificed so that I could have opportunity, and I'm just grateful for all of it, and that helps me stay grateful.
All right, so we're here in Harar in Ethiopia, and petrol just remains very difficult to get a hold of in this whole region. So we're getting ready to cross to the border of Djibouti, so we're going to go ahead and get a bunch of this weight off the top and fill up the tank, of course, just as it starts to rain. So we're going to see if we can get this thing close to full and then get into Djibouti with some full tanks. So it's the morning here in Harar, Ethiopia, and we're getting ready to make our final push to the border with Djibouti. We've got about 4.5–5 hours of driving. It does say that the border's open 24/7, so we'll see when we get there. That's not always the case. So we're trying to get there a little bit earlier today. We're gonna have an early start. Just did my vehicle walk around, my vehicle checks. We do that every morning before we leave. It's just always a good idea to take a few minutes to do an inspection underneath the hood and then do a full walk around of the vehicle, including you got to kind of get down low and look underneath, and that's going to be looking for any fluid leaks, looking for any damage to the suspension, shock absorbers, etc. Fortunately, this vehicle's really well built, heavy duty vehicle, and as a result, we've not had any failures at any point during our daily checks. So yeah, getting ready for a last logistical challenge of the drive. Then there's of course going to be some logistics around shipping. All right, one of the things that we do in questionable parking lots, Brian's out doing just a quick check. We're looking for nails, sharps, things that can puncture the vehicle, for example. We also make sure that we're looking for rebar and that sticking out of the road. So part of keeping your car in good shape is making sure you get it washed too. Look at that. We just had a nice little breakfast. These guys are taking care of the Grenadier, and they all work so hard. They do such a good job. Part of this little crew also cleaned up my shoes. Got an opportunity to put the Grenadier in a little bit of low range.
It does it. Pulls right on through.
Yeah, nice job, Brian.
Right on.
See if we can find our way back to the main road. All right, so we're coming into the last little border town of Ethiopia called Dawele. We've not been able to find any petrol in any of these spots. Quite a few more checkpoints, but looks like we'll pay our final toll and then cross the border into Djibouti, hopefully within the next hour or so.